It's good to see everyone today. I always want to thank members of the media for being a strong conduit to the communities here in our city and for delivering important messages to your viewers, your listeners, and your readers. I'm privileged to be joined today by our Sheriff, Patrick Labatt, from here in Fulton County, our U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, Mr. Hertzberg, as well as members of the FBI, the ATF, and South Fulton Police Department that is here today. Regardless of the season or the time of the year, this department, along with its partners, are fighting crime in Atlanta, Georgia, focusing on gangs, guns, and drugs. Many of you are aware of the initiatives that we play out every year with the partners that are behind me and others, making sure that we're fighting gangs, guns, and drugs in our city. And these initiatives are not casting a wide net. We use scalpels of the law, scalpels of the Constitution, intelligence-led crime fighting, and the partnerships to make sure we're going after those individuals doing certain things in the places of this city, of this county, and the region that can impact safety. Going after those that are likely to pull triggers in our neighborhood. And these individuals do not remain in Atlanta, Georgia. They move across boundaries that are represented by jurisdictions behind me. And there's initiatives that we play out every year with catchy names, but it's not the catchy names that we have that denote the time they're working. It's the work that's being done by the men and women in law enforcement, and those cases are being prosecuted by our prosecutor. We're removing firearms from the hands they should not be in. We're removing drugs. We're taking individuals off the street. I'm going to go through some of the numbers, looking back just at last year alone. Last year, starting with Kickstart in our spring initiative, we arrested 108 individuals. Of those, 36 were convicted felons. In Heatwave, which is our summer months, we arrested 103 individuals, 34 of which were convicted felons. And in Deep Freeze, which played out from October to December of this last year, we arrested 77 individuals, 35 of which were convicted felons. If you add those numbers up, the collective work of the agencies that come together for these initiatives totaled 288 individuals that were taken off the street. 288 individuals that were engaged in activity that, if not interrupted, more than likely have acted in gun violence in our city. 61 of those individuals were documented gang members. Those individuals had 81 guns that they were possessing at the time of their arrest, making sure that we disrupted the behavior before the triggers were pulled. And that's boots on the ground in this city of the collaborative law enforcement that's hard at work. That's our federal partners and our state partners that are going after gangs, guns, and drugs. And I just want to point to the amount of drugs that were taken off during this detail. Drug dealing operations that are not stopped, that are not interrupted, will lead to gun violence. I can point now to the Midtown neighborhood of this city, which just 2 weeks ago had 4 individuals shot when a drug dealing operation was going on that had been undetected and had not yet been interrupted by law enforcement. During those initiatives that I just gave you, the 3, 19.2 pounds of heroin, methamphetamine, and crack cocaine removed from the streets, otherwise would have been kept in an environment that triggers would have been pulled. This work is done by a partnership that is strong, that is focused on what is right for our citizens, and that is our U.S. Attorney's Office that prosecutes our cases, as well as our district attorney in Fulton County. It is our Sheriff, Patrick Labatt, Peter Ellis with the FBI, Ryan Todd with the ATF. We also have Major Rogers with South Fulton County Police Department, the Georgia State Patrol, the East Point Police Department, and the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department, who from every zone across the city, our air unit, our investigators, our specialized crime units, our civilian analysts, our E911 Center, and our Video Integration Center are working to make sure that we're removing the right people off the street who have guns in their hands that are dealing drugs in this city that otherwise would lead to violence. Those cases must be prosecuted. The hard work that is done, the dangerous work is done, places individuals in courtrooms. I want to thank our state's attorney at Fulton County for her work prosecuting these cases. And it's now my privilege to bring to the podium our U.S. Attorney, Theodore Hertzberg, to bring comments at this time. Mr. U.S. Attorney.
Thank you very much, Chief. Appreciate that. Each of the federal agencies that are represented here today, ATF and FBI, as well as Homeland Security Investigations and my own office, the United States Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia, has been honored to partner with the Atlanta Police Department to combat violence in our community through Operations Kickstart, Heatwave, and Deep Freeze. For the federal participants, that has meant deploying law enforcement and prosecutorial resources in real time to assist with apprehension and ensure that the worst of the worst are brought to justice in federal courtrooms. That's important because there are key differences between the state's criminal justice system and the federal criminal justice system. For example, Parole has been abolished for all federal crimes, but it is available to most offenders prosecuted in state court. A federal judge can sentence a convicted felon to life imprisonment for possessing a firearm, and may be required to impose a sentence of at least 15 years in prison if the defendant is a career criminal. But the penalties under state law are more limited. That's one reason why, during last year's operation, we encountered numerous felons in possession of firearms who had already served time for doing the exact same thing and were at it again. But the involvement of federal agents and prosecutors immediately and literally on scene means that we can break that cycle and have lasting impact. For example, one of the deep freeze defendants now facing federal charges is Demetrius Benson. In 2017, 2021, and 2023, Benson was sentenced in 3 different counties, Cobb, Henry, and Fulton, for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Last November, on an Operation Deep Freeze night when Benson was allegedly selling drugs while carrying a loaded semi-automatic pistol, ATF responded with APD and instantly set the stage for federal prosecution. Given his criminal history, Benson will face consequences in federal court that are not available in state court. Our federal contributions are not limited to additional manpower at the time of arrest. We bring to APD's operation a data-based and evidence-driven approach to identify problem people and problem places. We work with APD to identify the armed predators who are perpetually responsible for intolerable violence and who need to be held without bail, imprisoned without the possibility of parole, excised from the community, and sent off to federal prisons on the other side of the country. To achieve those objectives, I have deployed prosecutors into the field to accompany federal agents on the streets, to assist them in the Joint Operations Center, and to lead multi-agency trainings on legal issues surrounding traffic stops, investigatory detention, search and seizure, and custodial interrogation, so that arrests can be sustained, evidence can be admitted, and prosecutions can produce appeal-proof convictions. 2 of the defendants being prosecuted federally out of Operation Heatwave, for example, were arrested on a night that I personally rode around in Zone 1 with agents. I'm particularly pleased that our partnership has led to the test firing of nearly 900 firearms that were seized by APD in 2025, and the entry of digital images of spent cartridge cases into NIBIN, the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. NIBIN is a powerful crime-fighting tool that has cracked cases, exonerated wrongly accused individuals, and ensured that trigger pullers are held accountable. For the first time, every gun seized during Operation Kickstart, Heatwave, and Deep Freeze that could be test-fired for NIBIN was test-fired for NIBIN in 2025. No U.S. attorney is as fortunate as I am to have Chief Schierbaum, Chief Spann, and the entire Atlanta Police Department as partners. Regrettably, in other parts of the country, there is tension between federal and local authorities, but that is not the case in North Georgia generally, and it is certainly not the case here in the city of Atlanta. All of us here today are committed to keeping Atlanta safe, and our community is blessed to be served by law enforcement professionals who work so well together to realize that goal.
Well, actually, I believe the U.S. Attorney just stole my remarks. One thing that's unique, you hear our mayor talk about Atlanta being not just a great place, but a group project. And so to have a leader like Chief Schierbaum in place where we actually, believe it or not, we text or talk nearly 2 or 3 times a week. And so partnerships matter, leadership matters. And so as our U.S. Attorney just stated, there are no territorial provinces. It is one team. It is a force multiplier that allows us to be more effective. We all know that criminals don't have jurisdictional boundaries. And so to be able to pick up the phone and enjoy a partnership that allows us to be successful and efficient is what this is about. And so there are no federal, state, and local politics, as I put it, but ultimately being able to reach out to partners and build those relationships before you need it. That's what this is about. And so we're in a place that we forecast, we know things will happen. They will continue to happen. So being in a place that we ultimately can lean on each other is something that does not happen across the nation. And so with that, I want to thank Chief Schierbaum, our U.S. Attorney, the FBI, all the partners that come to make what makes Fulton County great. And certainly the women and men of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. We stand shoulder to shoulder. We run towards danger with our Atlanta Police Department when many people run away. So again, thank you all. Thank you for your leadership. We appreciate it.
Good afternoon. So I just want to reiterate the type of work that we've collaboratively done throughout these details. We were able to collect a total of 81 weapons, as you see pictured here. And then not only that, but the type of drugs that we were able to recover, it's a total of 9,090 grams total of various drugs. And you can see on the screen the various types. But here's where we want to call to action. We know that the city of Atlanta, along with our partners, can't do this alone. And so we want to make sure we highlight the use of Crime Stoppers. We urge the community to continue to utilize our Crime Stoppers tip line, as well as sharing the footage, their camera footage, whether it's video, whether it's Ring, doorbell camera footage, Google Nest. Please make sure you are sharing your videos. And then last but not least, we urge you all to connect with Connect Atlanta.
Thank you, Chief Span. So it's a new year. Many will go out and watch the lunar eclipse tonight, or this morning. We're going to change our clocks on Saturday, but then the collective team that you see behind me that is represented at each heat wave, we're going to be back at work this year. And so we will continue this year, 3 initiatives being executed by local, county, regional, and federal partners, going after those that present a danger to our communities. If you're a drug dealer in this region, if you're a gang member in this region, you're using that gang affiliation to further crime, or you are possessing guns illegally, you're eventually going to meet Heatwave, Kickstart, or Fall Frontier. We're going to be there. And you're going to be aggressively prosecuted if you decide to commit crimes here. Again, I want to thank our partners, our U.S. Attorney, our Sheriff, the ATF, the FBI, South Fulton, the Georgia State Patrol, the District Attorney of Fulton County, everyone that believes in doing the mission to keep Atlanta, Georgia safe. And I just want to again thank the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department. I see your work each and every day. I see the hard work you do each and every day for the city, and I'm very, very proud of you all.